So, a huge big welcome. My name is Sal Holden, and I'm from Abundant Heart Coaching. And I'm here with the beautiful Kate Taylor today, and really excited to chat further with Kate about her experience with the Thrive program. And maybe if we start, Kate, with just understanding, I guess, where you were before you actually found the Thrive program, and I guess what were some of the things that you were experiencing at the time as well, too, Dylan.
I think I was at my lowest ebb. I wouldn't say it's rock bottom. I've hit that a couple of times, but this was different. I just had no energy, no motivation. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was wrong with me because it was so different to anything I'd ever experienced before. I'd just been through a really incredibly depletingly stressful situation with my husband. It was his issue, but we went through it together. And I just didn't know what was wrong with me. And it was only seeing your ad that I put a name to it. And it was one of those moments when I saw the ad, I watched your masterclass and I went, oh my God, I'm in burnout. And I didn't know that that's where I was. But once the word was there, I knew exactly that that is what had happened. I had just been going and going and going, and I couldn't go any further. I couldn't go any more. And my body sort of stopped me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so many women will relate with that as well too, Kate. I know even for myself, like sometimes you can kind of feel like, oh, just you know that you're not yourself, but you don't actually know what's actually going on. And it's often not until, somebody hears those words and then goes, oh my goodness, and starts to put the picture together that they can really make sense of their experience as well. Because otherwise it's just like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I not motivated? Or why can't I just get in and do what I've always done kind of thing? So
yeah, and I just personally, I just turned 50, and I really was scared that this was what the rest of my life was going to be like, that is what happens at 50. And I looked around at my sort of peer group and saw them going through similar as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's, we can sometimes be so quick to just assume, oh, it's just menopause or this is just what happens. And it's far from how it needs to be for sure. So with that, what were the results that you got from actually going through the Thrive program and your experience within that?
I think the first thing was hope, that it was normal to feel, it was not normal to feel like this, obviously, but
but there was a reason
something.
for it.
There was a reason for it. And, looking back on my life, I had just been able to push through. That was who I was, and I couldn't do it anymore. So that hope and just a glimpse of movement, of progression in my life where I hadn't had any before. And I think the other thing I found was amazing understanding from yourself, but also understanding from the group of women that you had also had in the group, and just not being alone and listening to their stories and then listening to my story and us all just going, oh my goodness, you too.
And
so
seeing the similarities with the beliefs and everything else that come through. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off then.
No, not at all. And just the beautiful support from that group of women.
Absolutely, Dom. Yeah, for sure. And what was the biggest learning, I guess, that you got from going through the program, and what do you think was the biggest help to you?
I think the tools that you had, there is so much information. It's not overwhelming, but there is a lot of information, and some of it resonates and some of it doesn't. And I think that's the beauty of having so many tools and information available, that there will be things that resonate with some people and other things resonate. I think one of the really key things was the naturopath. I hadn't taken into account that my body was also depleted, and that needed help as well. So having that included in the program was actually amazing. And I wouldn't have gone to a naturopath, but it did put me on the right path and did start to make me feel better with some supplements, and also just with some better eating and some real guidance around eating for my symptoms.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I know that you'd mentioned previously, in terms of that scientific background and everything as well. That it was a bit of a different approach, I guess, in some ways of the things that you'd actually learn in the course as well too, Kate.
That's absolutely true. You know, I am a medical scientist. That's what I trained in, and so I've always identified myself as a scientist in my being, but I've always been a hippie scientist as well, right? I've always been a little bit open to other things, and what the Thrive program did for me was actually bring those things together. And I think that was part of the problem, actually. I think that I was splitting myself off from parts of myself that were joyful to me, but I just couldn't move away from this scientific view, right? So that was a naturopath. So going to the naturopath really helped me and open my mind about that. But also from a spiritual side, learning about human design and just being absolutely captivated by human design and what that meant for me, and just realizing that all those things that I'd probably been trying to hide from people, or I was a bit embarrassed about, I realized that that's just part of my design. That's actually who I'm supposed to be, and just that acceptance of myself. So in a weird way, I gained acceptance of myself through the Thrive program and the tools that were provided to me in that period of time.
Absolutely. And it just allows so much spaciousness to relax into your most authentic self and to live most authentically, and actually to embrace those parts of ourselves. I know for myself, you know, that was a huge part of my journey as well, because I just had so many bits that I rejected or made wrong. And that creates like a lot of burnout in itself as well, because it takes tremendous energy to withhold those parts of ourselves, or to not be who we truly are at our core as well.
Yeah, and Sal, you always say it so eloquently, and you're always able to wrap it up so well, but you're absolutely right. I think that's what I found. I found this acceptance of my authentic self, and by just allowing myself to be, I got so much more energy from not having to be somebody else, loving who I was, actually following my joy rather than, and the energy that I got from following my joy. That was so healing and such a great lesson, to be honest, to take with me for the rest of my life.
Yes, totally. Because it's like getting that joy back, which brings so much radiance, and the inner radiance, and connection with our feminine self, and what lights our heart up, and truly what we're here to do as well, which is so beautiful. So
it only took me to 50.
But you're here now, which is great.
And that's the acceptance of the path that has led to this, and I couldn't have done it any other way.
Yeah, so beautiful, darling. And if there's anybody out there that's kind of a little bit unsure about the program, or they're thinking about it, what would you suggest to them, or what would your advice be to them?
I think just don't put it off. Just you know, it's very cliche, but just do it. Just listen to yourself. Put yourself first, and actually listen to that voice inside you that's telling you what you need, rather than thinking it's not real, or putting other people first. You know, you really do need to look after yourself to be able to look after other people and continue on with your life. Otherwise, this will just perpetuate. And I'm so glad that I made that decision and joined the Thrive program. And, you know, even further than that, working with you one-on-one, Sal, has been amazing, and has expanded me again from when I left the Thrive program.
So beautiful, Kate. And thank you so much for being here with me today, and sharing your story as well too. And thank you for everybody that's watching. And if you have any further questions, or you would love to find out a little bit more about the Thrive program, please contact me on my email at admin@sallyholden.com.au. And I look forward to speaking with you and seeing if and how I may be able to help you as well. And thank you, Kate. It's just been such a privilege and such a blessing watching you unfold in or blossoming within your journey from, you know, week 1 right through to week 12 and beyond that as well. It's just been a true joy and privilege to walk beside you in that journey.
Well, thank you, Sal, because you know, I think I spent the first few meetings with you in tears. And to move from that, even in the first few weeks, was just incredible. I think I felt amazing by about week 3. And then from then on, it just, went up and down. But eventually, I really came to have this great amount of energy, and I couldn't have done it without you. And I don't know where I'd be, actually. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Kate. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye for now.